gotta kill my own audio. Come on. Come on. Killing the audio. Wow, there's a wicked delay. There it is. Oh, it's already killed. What do you know about that? About chat. Bring this down. Make it mini-sized. Gotta get Chris in here, who I was just chatting with. Where are you, Chris? Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, I need your email, Chris. I don't know what your email is. I probably do, but I don't. Actually, I think I got you on Twitter, don't I? Oh, I hate this new interface. Here you are. How am I not? It is you, right? Twin Find Marvin. Yeah, I know that's you. I'm doing it on Twitter. Messages. It's screwing me up, this new interface that just came up. Message to Chris. Now I gotta remember where the hell it is on here. Invite. Copy. Go to Chris's little chat. Command V. Hit return and poof, there you go. It's on the twits. I wasn't following you on Twitter. I can't believe that because I thought I had. But I am now. This whole new Twitter interface just showed up literally tonight, and it's driving me nuts. Device not connected. Add to stream. And there he is. Da-da-da.
Modern technology.
Well, all right then. There's nobody here. I think for two people, I like this setup better. Yeah, two people. Three, it's better to have the Brady Bunch, but for two, this is better. So anyways, where were we? If anyone doesn't know, we just got off the Edge of Tech's little community. What did he call that?
Showcase. Community showcase.
Community showcase. There, I was just on it. I couldn't remember the name of it. Oh, that's bad. Oh, crap. How did you get a Country 3D
Redbox
cover? You got a whole bunch of them back there.
Well, they were
doing graphics or something for them.
No, Pooch was doing a show with Joel, live stream. They're doing a build, and I asked in the chat if I could buy a set, and they worked something out. They donated the money to charity, and
cool.
And then when I first bought the Redbox, Walter was doing his, and he showed the panels, and I'm like, oh, those look sweet, you know. So then he had to contact Pooch and give him permission to sell them. They weren't cheap, but they are sweet.
They're cool.
So I can appreciate them on the wall. You put them on the rep box, you never see them because they're on the sides, you know.
Yeah, they're cool though.
Yeah.
I got to do something here. I got to move this. I'm hoping actually, because my father's doing better, I can bring my father back up here. Their bedroom's normally over on the other side of the house. Mine's a lot closer to the bathroom, which is my father's issue because he shuffles now. He doesn't really walk. But I'm thinking since I built this massive apartment in our basement for him because he's, we thought he was going to be wheelchair bound, which he's not. But anyways, I think in the next month or two, I can bring him up here. I can give him this bedroom for their bedroom. Their room would turn into like a sitting room, hangout, TV room, living room area. So they'd have the whole top of the house to themselves. And I'll take that thing I just built downstairs. It's got a bathroom and a sink and a kitchen. Got everything down there. And I can turn that whole basement into a massive, workspace.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds like the way to go.
Oh, that would be so awesome. Dreaming.
How's your house laid out? Do they have a lot of stairs they need to do?
Yeah, well, that's just it. That's why I put them in the basement. Because that's the only art. It's a full walk-in basement. It's a 2-floor house. It's really a 3-floor house
With a walkout.
It's a full walk-in basement. Because my mother, when we first built the house, my mother was running a big old bakery and she made wedding cakes and stuff.
Oh,
and that
sweet.
whole basement she had like 6 ovens and 3 or 4 dishwashers. And
wow.
Then she stopped doing that, and we took half of it and turned it into her sewing room, and the other half turned into my father's wood shop. And then my mother's a junk collector, and she slowly took over more and more and more until the whole house is full of junk.
That happens.
Put it this way: to get the basement cleared out, and I only did half of the basement. 4 dumpsters pulled out of here.
Moses.
4 of them cost me $2,000 in dumpsters. And a lot of it was good stuff. I didn't.
No yard sales?
I don't have the time to freaking deal with it all. Gone. It's all sewing crap. And my mother's one of those, if she gets something, food, I am throwing out, now that I'm doing all the cooking, she's not even allowed in the kitchen. I'm going in the pantry every week, and I'm doing this and reaching behind and finding boxes. I found cream of wheat from 1996.
Oof.
Now, think about it, because cream of wheat has a dating on the box for like 3 freaking years. So it was bought in like 1993.
Yeah, wow.
That's when I broke my neck. That was a long ass time ago.
Did that solidify inside the box? Was it like concrete?
I thought it was powder. That's even funnier. Is I took it outside and like, some of the stuff I'll check it if it's a couple months, powdered box cake mixes, crap like that. If it's a couple months past date, I'll use it. I'll check it and make sure there's no bugs or anything in it. But thanks, Rover. I took the cream of wheat and I was just like, oh, and I squeezed it a little. I was like a little hard. So I took it out on my deck and I went to fling it because, I feed it to the crows or whatever. Why fill the landfill up? So I went to fling it to the crows and it was just like clumpy and it never made it past the deck. It spewed all over my deck. So right now my deck is covered in cream of wheat. And I'm hoping this rain we're getting right now is washing the crap away. Otherwise, it's going to be this nice paste of cream of wheat on my deck. And it just scattered. It didn't. Normally, I could take it, fling the box. I hold on to the box when I fling it. It's a little deck, and it usually goes right out and over it. And it didn't. It kind of went blip, blip, blip.
Nice.
Hit the deck, because it was chunks. Hit the deck and just, shattered when it hit the deck. Oh, it was not pretty. No, I would not try eating 1996 cream of wheat. I don't even eat cream of wheat, period. And from 1996, no, I could be starving to death. I will die before I eat cream of wheat in 1996. Pancake batters. She's got like 6 boxes of pancake batter in there. Well, it was on sale, so you buy 2 instead of 1. But, we make pancakes like twice a month, maybe. A box lasts us a year. Oh, yeah. Cups. I could do the presidential election party with silo cups. I have enough bright red silo cups in my basement. No, I have cases, multiple of silo cups. Why?
Build something.
Well, I was thinking about it. I was going to 3D print, do Lego connectors for silo cups. Build silo cup 3D print tower.
Make a roulette.
Like an Eiffel Tower. Out of silo cups. Solo cups, like you call them silo cups, solo cups. I'm talking about the red plastic cup that everybody in the world uses.
Yeah, silo cups.
Yeah, solo cups, whatever they are. If you guys don't know, I can't speak English. You got to go back in some of my streams and figure it out. It's no surprise to anyone that's listened to me. There's words I just cannot say, like the name of Snow Lab's purple filament. It's that filament I cannot say.
Airy one?
Huh?
Airy one?
Airy one? No, I can say airy one. No, it's the amethyst. Amethyst, or something like that. Just can't pronounce it right. Oh, it's getting hot again. What the hell?
Is that storm over?
Nah, it's kind of fading away. But we had the humidity went way down just before it hit, which it was supposed to do. That's it. The humidity is lowering as the storms go through. Now the humidity's up to 83%.
Oh, that was short.
It was at like 50 when the storm started 2 hours ago. Now it's 81%. I mean, the temperature's down. It's only 70 degrees out when it was 90 something today.
And where are you?
Connecticut.
I'm outside of Chicago, and this past week has just been murder. I mean,
Yeah.
Today was like the first nice day in 3 months.
Yep. Tomorrow's supposed to be our nice day. And it's going to rain all day, they're saying, but the heat and humidity will be down. No, I will not try 30-year-old food. No. I've had food poisoning twice in my life. I am so careful about food. Never again.
It's like Seinfeld with Elaine eating that wedding cake. The JFK wedding cake.
I don't think I saw that one. I kind of faded out at Seinfeld toward the end. It got kind of, it would be like years I wouldn't watch it, and then I'd start watching again, and in a year I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah, that's what reruns are for.
It got kind of burnt out on it. Oh, send it to him. I got you. Oh, you're in Maine, so you're up there with a van full of puppies and a Buzz Designs. I don't know if you guys know who they are. You know who Van Full of Puppies and a Buzz Designs are, Chris?
No.
Oh. Well, they're the ones actually that started Earth.
Really?
Yeah. Buzz Designs used to do live streams. She was doing it all the time, and then she makes like mouse ears. She can't call them Mickey Mouse ears,
right?
Because then she gets sued. But she calls them mouse ears and sells them on whatever that website is where they sell the homemade garbage. But she makes them all like glittery, and she 3D prints them all, and used to do a stream on it. And then I guess she got in trouble, or it got to be too much for her, or whatever.
Yeah,
she used to stream
Disney
every
doesn't
Sunday
joke
night.
around.
Huh?
Disney doesn't joke around.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people, I guess, like buy them and go down to Disney and wear hers there. And hers aren't cheap. They're like $40-$50 a set.
Uh-huh.
They're all like, I mean, she makes them all glittery, and it's not all 3D printed. She makes like homemade bows out of ribbon.
I think I've seen her on YouTube. One of those, an Earth show.
Yep. Yeah, her Van Full of Puppies and Chris, what's his name, are the three that Van Full of Puppies is her husband.
Okay.
And Chris, what's his name, are the three that started Earth, or set it up, got it going.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, hopefully they keep it going.
There should be a Nerf, New England Rip Rap Festival. I agree. I've actually been thinking about it a lot.
Because Josh at Alien 3D says there should be a surf for the Southeast Rep Rappers Festival.
There really should be, and I was almost thinking of doing like, not necessarily a Nerf New England Rip Rap Festival, but like a mini Nerf, if that makes sense. It doesn't need to be huge, but it would be cool to like, rent a school in the summer, a couple dozen people bring their stuff. Once it takes off, it's going to roll, even if it doesn't get huge like Murph and Earth do.
Well, the problem is if you've got too many events like that, they're going to get diluted.
Yeah, they will.
When there's one or two a year, then everybody tries to get there. But if they're 2 or
if you have
3
a
or 4.
local one that's small, you're gonna go to a local one that's small. Like there's no way I can make it to Earth this year. I'd love to go, but it's just not gonna happen. I can't afford it. I don't have the time. I can't get it, I can't take that much time out of the house. So it would be cool if I could do a 1-day local one. It's an hour away instead of 6 hours of New York traffic.
Yeah.
And I'm actually not that far from Earth. I'm only like 200 miles away, but it's 6 hours because I have to go right through New York City to get there. I have to go through New York City and Baltimore to get there.
Ouch. Yeah, Baltimore's just as
Fart,
bad.
yeah. That's what Glenn wants to do is fart. The Florida one, whatever. What is it actually supposed to stand for? Florida Rip Rap something. Yeah, no, I think the small ones won't. I mean, they're going to take away from the big guys a little bit, but Murph and Earth are already Earth. I mean, it wasn't as they were planning on it being bigger than it was, but it was still pretty packed. I mean, that's the release of the Llama Core. I brought it there, and it had only been printing like a week when I brought it there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I demoed it at Earth.
So where was your table?
I was one in front of Neary's. I was right in
This year?
front of Neary. I was right next to the Railcore guys. The Railcore guys were on my right. Colin was on my left. Me and Colin hung out the whole time. I was 2 behind Country 3D and Glenn and all those guys. I was like right in the middle, like dead center in the middle of the whole thing. You couldn't have gotten much more middle than me. Shom and all those guys were at the end of my tables. That was my problem, is I've come to find out that you really want to be on either wing. You don't want to be in the middle. I figured, I'll be in the middle. Everyone will have to walk by. And they all walk around the edges.
Yeah.
You want to be on one edge or the other of the line of tables.
Well, because the middles just get jammed.
Yeah, people just don't walk down the aisles as much either. If there's that much stuff on the ends, they just don't bother. Or when they do, they're trying to get to the other side. Don't forget, the whole outer perimeter is all the commercial people.
Right.
Which is, I don't care what it is. That crap's more interesting than my stupid little printer. So it didn't get a whole lot of. I mean, I have a lot of cool crap that people just, I get the rolling sticks and which you probably never even heard of, huh?
No.
You never seen my rolling sticks. It's a little widgety thing, it's like a fidget spinner, but it's a stick. It looks like a bowling pin, but you can roll it back and forth.
Is that like your pet rock?
Yeah, they're cool, actually. Do I have one here? I don't think I have one anymore. I think I've given them all away. Oh, here's one without the end caps. Wherever it just went. I just had it in my hand and I dropped it. You got 2 rubber end caps on it. I could probably roll it even without the end caps. And it just rolls down the desk.
Oh.
But with the end caps on it, they're weighted. It'll like stop and stand up on the end and then roll away.
Gotcha.
And then rolls. It's actually kind of cool to watch.
What did you make the weights out of?
I just 3D print them out of TPU. And on the inside, I thread it, and you just put a 1/4-20 bolt in there.
Gotcha.
So it's double threaded. It threads into that, but then there's a smaller thread and it's hollowed out, and you just thread the 1/4-20 in it. I got it. If you watch my YouTube and go way back, I have a couple of YouTube on it, the first and the second version, which are probably my most 2 popular YouTubes. What's that? It's an Amazon.
New stepper drivers.
Oh, which ones? 2208.
I don't remember because I was going back and forth between the
2208s. I've had them all.
2208. Yep.
I'd do a 2208 over anything. It's just all bleached out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Now, did you change your firmware?
You don't. That's the cool thing about the 2208s. No, you plug them in, you're done. You don't have to touch anything, and it's instant silent board.
Awesome.
You just plug them in. If you got 44 or 85s or whatever the 88 45s or whatever the stock standard
44 88s.
Yeah, they'll just snap right in.
What about the stepper direction? Did you have to modify that?
You might have to. You might have to. Well, you could do that with the wires too if you don't even want to
Yeah,
get
that's how I would
thermal.
do it. There you go.
Yeah, it's the same thing I got. You do want to put the heater on it, the little
Heat sink.
heat sink, and you definitely want to get a fan for them.
Yeah,
Make
well,
sure there's
there's a
a fan
fan on
blowing
the
across
case.
them things. Because that's the one downside about the 2208s is they're one of the hottest burning ones of all the TMCs.
Yeah, they definitely got a fan blowing right on the board now. It's just that on that G-Max, I'm losing steps, it seems like. I can't get a nice flat perimeter. It's like a record.
Well, you can also put those in UART or whatever, where you can go in and adjust them through the software. But
Yeah,
I
I
think
was
that's more
watching.
of a pain in the butt than doing it. I don't get why everyone's so excited about being able to firmware set the amperage for your stepper drivers.
Yeah, how
That's
often you have
more
to
of a
do
pain in
that?
the butt to me than sticking a screwdriver in there and turning it up.
Yeah, I was watching Teaching Tech's video on these.
Yeah, that's why I went with the 2208s because I watched all the stuff and he said it's a direct drop in. I was like, yeah, baby, that's what I want.
Oh,
Because I dealt with them on both on the Core XY has the duet board, and then the Max Micron has the Einzy board. So they both have the TMCs with the firmware controlled amperage, and it's a pain in the butt. The duet's not quite as bad because it's so easy to do the firmware, right on
yeah.
the web. It's like an instant you type it in, and you're not really doing the firmware. You're doing
Well, you
a
update the
firm.
file and then
Yeah, you're doing a file update. You're not actually. People think you're actually editing the firmware. The duet does not edit the firmware. It just makes a little file. The firmware reads and says these are the settings I want every time it boots up.
yes,
That's all it's doing. You're
and
not editing the firmware.
that's the best part of it.
Yeah, that is the best part of the duet. I'm sorry. This stupid thing of that Glenn got me to A12 E12.
Taser
That's it.
face.
Yep, it's quieter, it's better printing, it's everything than both my other printers, which are 3 times more money. Because it's just got the MKS board with the 2208s in it, and it's dead silent. It's the quietest of my 3 printers, barely, but it is the quietest. It's the best printing right now, more because the other 2 are worn out. There's something seriously wrong with it. I think I got a bad bearing in one of my idler bearings on the Core XY because there is a wave that's appeared in one of the faces that is horrendous. And it's recent, and it's only in one direction. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. There you go. See that?
Usually, I find when you get stuff like that, it's usually the filament. When it just out of nowhere you have an issue like that.
It's a pattern. And it's doing it in everything and anything I print, no matter what filament I use. See that wave?
Oh, check your V slots on your extrusion where the rollers are. Is there any grime buildup on there?
No, it's the Bondtech, and it's all. I just cleaned it all that, but it's too perfect and even, and you can actually hear it. You can hear it as it's going across. You can hear it going, even when it's doing like a perfectly straight line. I know I got one of those bearings that's going bad. Or it's like warped out, it's worn out. So the bearing, it's the whole
oscillating.
Well, it's oblong now, so it's taking the belt and going like this with it.
Just replace them all. How many hours do you have on that?
Not that much, really. I don't really use that much. It's more of a tinker toy than it is an actual printer.
Tinker toy.
It is. I play with it more than I print on it. I screw with it constantly because it's an experiment more than it. It's a big experiment. It was a freaking expensive experiment.
Yeah, what it set you back?
A little over $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, the duet board is $200 by the time we're done. I bought massive. I don't know if you noticed it, but they're not standard NEMA 17s. They're 48 millimeter tall monstrosities.
I did notice that.
All the extrusion, and I actually saved money on the extrusion because only half of it is actual open builds extrusion. The other half is just cheap crap I got from Folger Tech. Anywhere the wheels were running, I bought open builds. Anywhere it's just a strut holding the thing together, that's all cheap Folger Check extrusion, which is half the price.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah, it is all you need, but be nice. There's definitely a quality difference. And then just, building and figuring out and taking it apart and building and figuring it out and taking it apart. And, a couple $100 in filament, printing all the parts that you end up throwing away because you did one little thing wrong, and 10 hours of printing that one little thing to find out the bolt doesn't fit right or the bearing doesn't sit quite right or something ain't lined up right. And you're like, it took me 2 years. It was almost 2 years it took me to get it running.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of that was like not last summer, but the summer before that. I was like in the middle of it and it was hot and it was kind of like this. And, I was working my regular job and I kind of just bailed on it for almost 2 months. It just kind of sat there. And that's when I started doing stuff that I didn't. I mean, originally it was designed that everything was supposed to be mounted outside the frame. So literally I could do an almost full 500 build by 500 build by 500. It'd be like 480 was the original design. And then I got to the point where, no, I'm not wasting any more time trying to figure it out. I'm just putting the thing together. So I just started making parts as fast as I could, designing them and just going, yep, that'll work, that'll work, that'll work, that'll work.
But you change the size of the frame, right? When you change beds?
No.
You can fit a 500 or a 480 bed in there?
I could put a 490 bed in there.
Wow.
It'll fit. It wouldn't be able to print the whole thing because if you look at it, this tower, can you see it?
No.
You can't see it, can you? Let's bring the camera over there.
There you go.
You sort of can see it. This tower right here on the moving gantry was originally supposed to be on the outside out here. That's why this is so long.
Yeah, I noticed your purple wire loom there kind of twisted when you move the head around.
Yeah, it does. It moves with it. This is actually cord. I didn't twist this because it's way too long.
What'd you say?
I have this cord. There's a spring inside of it to hold it up. I twisted it and it did all right until I would go like fully out. I get out to about here where it's a full arc out, and then it would just droop in the middle and hit the plant or hit the print. But these towers were originally designed to be on the outside. The bed is just you can't really see it because of the way it's set up. But there's actually 2 bed frames in here because I built the original bed frame, the one with all the tracks and everything on it, is 490 cubed, but I could only get the 300 cube bed. So I built another one that sits on this one.
And you got 2 screws there for your Z?
Yep. 1 motor, 2 screws. Bad choice. Won't do that ever again.
Why not?
It's just not stable. It takes a lot of work to keep that from moving. Because the other thing is if you notice, there's only 2 wheels on each track. There's no third wheel on this side.
Yes, you got to keep constant.
This is all working by these 2 being compressed.
Maybe you need to spring
the
load.
whole thing is designed. That was one of my things is to get rid of this third wheel out here. If you think about it, that's more resistance. It's more tracking. It's more problems. It's more everything. But to get these to compress is real easy. To get these to compress and hold the frame, like the bed, in place and square while you're compressing it is a freaking whole nightmare of another proportion that you don't want to get into.
Maybe you need to like spring load them so there's constant pressure.
Well, it's getting them tightened up, and once they're there, they're fine. It's getting the tension on them, holding both of those together, holding the bed in place. I made custom clamps to clamp on those. That's why if you look at them,
need 4 hands.
You can see, but there's an indent right here.
Okay, that's for your clamp.
I have a reverse clamp that actually spreads, and I put it inside here, and I spread them out and compress onto these 2 rails, and then tighten up all the screws. The problem is when you do that, one of these might slide more than the other on the 2020, and the whole bed shifts.
Right.
So you basically learn to tighten one up, get it exactly where you want it, clamp it, reverse clamp it, expand it, tighten that one up, and it's a pain in the butt. Plus the plastic gives too much, so after a while it releases. So every month I got to reset all of those. It wasn't a good idea. I would go with a regular, standard glide over this on the next build. If I were going to do it again, I would not do it. That's why I never released the files for it. It's just not worth it. It's more of a headache to try and build it than anyone's ever going to want to put up with. I almost thought about releasing it just to let people go, okay, this is how you could improve it, or you didn't think about this, because I guarantee you there's tons of stuff I looked at and didn't think about, and someone's going to get the light bulb over the head and go, dude, yes. Actually, I probably will get exo slides. I'm probably going to do the actual top gantry.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet looking.
The only problem is once again, my belts are all parallel and level and all that crap. And the minute I put the exo slides in, all my towers, all my motors, everything will have to adjust the height for the exo slide, because that ain't going to go. That's the other thing cool about this thing. If you look at it, all my traveling stuff, there's less than a millimeter between this rail and this rail. There's only like a half a millimeter of clearance between these two.
Wow. Which
is all, again, that was print one of these things, put it together, fail, print another one of those things, put it together, fail. And not only that, I was annealing all this stuff. This is all Maker Geeks that's been annealed. So, it shrinks just that little bit every time you anneal it. And I don't care what anyone says. There is no actual math to it. If I anneal it for 20 minutes, one time and I do it for 21 minutes the next time, you get that half a millimeter difference. And when you're doing that tight a tolerance.
Yeah, there's too many variables in there.
Yeah, it's not a good design. It is a cool design. I'm glad I did it. Nobody else should ever do this. It was just stupid.
It was a good experience.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. If I had the money right now and the time and the energy, something like doing that belt printer, ain't nothing going to intimidate my ass now. I can do that thing like that.
You think so? I think that'd be like a 6-month build.
No way.
I mean, he's doing a lot of stuff off screen, all that.
Oh, I mean, some of the crap
drill press and stuff.
Where he's sliding the board inside a track and all of that and hiding it in there. I wouldn't bother with any of that crap. I mean, it makes it look pretty and everything, but be honest, I'd rather have access to it, so if something starts going wrong, I can see it, feel it, touch it, fix it.
Smell it.
When this thing starts burning up, it's not burning my whole frame down before I can get to it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Carl did a freaking amazing. I think that's the most impressive part, the way he slides that board in and all the plugs plug in, and that's
very
pretty
well thought out.
Freaking impressive. Yeah. There's a couple have you seen some of the other ones? If you look on YouTube for belt printer now, there's a couple of guys doing like $300 belt printers. They're like 12 by 12 little boxes.
No
but
kidding.
It's a belt printer, so you can print as long as you want.
Yeah.
And they're doing it for a couple $100. I mean, they're basically just taking like a, like a Creality, kicking the tower over to 45 degrees and throwing a belt on it. I mean, hell, Carl's belt must freaking cost that piece of build tack.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be $1,000.
He said it was pricey.
I mean, he's got all stainless steel sleds under it and huge drum rollers.
He was building his dream.
Yeah, that was his nightmare, I think. I think he's sort of regretting it now.
You think so? I think he's regretting building another one.
I think he's regretting that he's got to build tons more of them. I don't know why, actually, he's having problems with it. If I were him, I guarantee you that dude can make a living off of that thing now without a problem. He'd be set for life. He could sell them for the next 3 to 5 years. Everybody in the world would buy one. Printed Solid's going to make a freaking ton when they get that kit set up. I guarantee it. I mean, think about it. That's just, you're looking at the price range of less than an Ultimaker for that thing.
Yeah, so you have a long Z, but what's the quality of it?
It's
compared to an Ultimaker.
It's pretty good, actually. It's really not much different than anything else. You just layers are going on a 45 instead of straight up and down. I mean, there's got to be some issues with, beginning and ending
What's
of the
the
part.
slicer?
It's Cura black belt version,
Okay.
but it's just basically Cura. You basically slice it in Cura, and then the black belt version, from what I understand, takes the Cura G code and just kicks it at 45 degrees.
Gotcha.
From what I understand, I've never actually played with it.
I wonder if that angle that he prints on will prevent you from doing any type of multicolor, like
I
a
don't see
palette
why.
or an MMU.
I'm waiting for like E3D to do their tool changer head at 45 degrees on a belt printer. That would be like, I mean, the black belt is what, 10 grand, 12 grand?
That's crazy.
And Carl's is almost as big. I think the black belt is a little bigger. But he's talking, what, $2,500? All done? I mean, granted, it's a kit, and black belt, a full belt one with support, and, you know. Yeah, that's right. He was using the pallet at Murph. I forgot about that. Imagine putting a pallet on a black belt. I still think the tool head. I think the White Knight with multi-sword head, or, you know, what would he call it? The multi-swinging sword or something, and have like
He'd have to call it like
on that thing would be freaking awesome.
he'd have to call it like the Three Musketeers or the Round Table.
Yeah, the round table belt printer or something. The belt table printer. I don't know. Camelot.
Camelot.
Call it Camelot. King Arthur. Something like that. Can you imagine that though? Doing a tool changer on that thing?
You would have to make it like twice as wide, right?
Why? The thing's like 3 foot already.
Where would he put all the heads?
It's bigger than the freaking tool changer is already. Think about it. You put them up on the top. He's got that big long angled tower that's 3 or 4 feet tall, 2 feet tall, whatever it is.
Come up and grab them.
What's up, Mr. Riley? And who else is here? Mr. Buttram? I haven't even been paying attention to that. Who do we got here? 3D Medic, Mr. Buttram, Chris Riley, Printing Viking.
Chris Riley's in the house.
Yep. Let's see who else is in here. Red Light, my man, Rick Cisco, John Mack. I haven't even, sorry guys, I haven't been paying attention to chat at all. Rover's here. RCCNC's here.
Chris
Brian
Riley
was here. I have a feeling he's gone because it's right about time he puts his kids to bed.
Oh, that was 20 minutes ago.
3D painter tapes. Yeah. I'm just scrolling up through the chat, seeing the names that I missed because we've just been BSing and I haven't really been paying attention to chat at all.
Chris Riley is the Benchy King now.
Yeah. I think he should just buy Benchy out from
Mr. Benchy.
I think him and what's his name should have a war over ownership of Benchies.
Benchy Showdown. One Benchy to rule them all.
I do think, Chris, you should do a Benchy hat with the FK6 or FT6 or whatever that is. I think you should print a Benchy hat. Go to Earth with it. Wearing a Benchy hat.
Out of TPU.
That's actually not a bad idea, too. I don't know. Can that thing print TPU? Is it a direct drive or is that FT6 direct drive, Chris? And wait, and wait, wait, and wait, and wait.
Probably
I'm wondering how long the lag is on this. They say they fixed it, but I noticed it was still like 20 seconds. It's not 40 or a minute anymore. But
it's a lot better, but
yeah, if it's an MK8, it should work. If it's a true MK8, go down to Thingiverse and take my extruder design because it prints TPU. I use PLA settings and print TPU all day long. The way I designed it. It's basically just the same thing. I just made it super duper tight around the gears. So it cannot ooze out anywhere ever. As long as you use an HTPLA or a PETG, it ain't going to hurt it at all. That's all that thing is that you can't see. Now you can see it. That thing. That's an old MK8, and that's probably the best hot end I have of all. This thing's jamming all the time again. I just got an all metal hot end, heat break, a true E3D heat break, and that thing was jamming last night. Put it in yesterday. PLA jamming. PLA does not do well in all metal hot ends. I don't care what anyone says.
No, I have to use an oiler.
Sure. Huh?
I use an oiler on my Mosquito with the PLA.
Dude, I use the softest, was it 80? I think I got some 86 shore weight, strength, whatever, TPU. It prints it like a dream. Goes right through it like nothing. And again, I just use my PLA settings. I slow it down to like 20, 25 millimeters a second print speed. Other than that, same retractions, same everything. I get no stringing. I print like a dream in TPU. I usually have my little piece right here. It's still here. I guess not. But I have a little tower. It looks absolutely perfect. And it's all printed at TPU. Everyone's like, oh, that's PLA. And I go, squish. And it's like perfect. And that was printed on that thing. With the same extruder. I've not changed that extruder since I designed it and built it, 3 years ago? 4 years ago? And it's all HTPLA. No burns, no melts, no airs. Put Capricorn, the 3 millimeter outside diameter Capricorn tubing in a MK8, and you can print all the way up to PETG with it. No ABS. That's a little too much for it. That PC Plus is probably too much for it, too. Well, I'm about ready to try it because I can't stand the all-metal hot end. Creative Tools will sell you the Benchy. No. I don't think they might for enough money. He likes money. You'd have to sign over an agreement that it would have to stay public.
Yeah, that's the one drawback. He likes money. You're screwed.
Well, I mean, all my stuff's free too, but you offer me $1 million, I'll shut it down. I'll sell it to you and give you exclusive rights for $1 million.
Where do I sign?
No freaking problem.
For half
Give me $1 million, I'll do whatever the hell you want. Hell, you just designed another one that's different and does the same thing. They're pretty.
The Benchy 2.
Yeah. The Ben Chi. Make it a
Chi Ben.
Whatever. I still get people asking me, why did he name it Benchy? It's not a bench, it's a boat. It's a benchmark print. That's what it's designed for. It's supposed to be a cute little boat. It's supposed to be a benchmark thing. Something reasonably quick you print to see what's wrong with your printer. Which I should do that with that PC Plus stuff. That's what I should do tomorrow. I think I'm going to print a Benchy with that PC Plus and see how it comes out.
Now you got to do your Brian Vines test with your heat tower, your string test.
They told me to forget all that. Just print it at 250. Turn the fan off, print it at 250. I did all that. I was actually going to do a video. I print temp towers and all kinds of things, and I was snapping them too, not only to see how they looked, but how the strength was, because the PC Plus is supposed to be stronger and better than pretty much anything. I don't know if you understand what the PC Plus is, but polycarbonate, you have to print it 300, 350 degrees with 120 hot bed. The PC Plus, he put a lot of modifiers in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it maintains supposedly the strength and flexibility, but you print it at 250 with a 70-degree bed. And it does print beautiful. I got to say, the look is absolutely gorgeous. I still have it, but I throw them out. This is one of the temp towers I printed. And it is the sidewalls, the overhangs print unbelievably perfect. I mean, look at that. There's no errors or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice. There's a little bit of stringing, but that's just settings. The surfaces are all gorgeous. But that's at 245, 250, 255 or what these are. Anything above or below. Below that, it just snaps apart. It doesn't hold. And above that, it gets all mushy.
And that's the PC Plus?
Yeah, PC Plus, Snow Labs. The only place you can get it. It's their own concoction. That's why I got wasted. Were you drinking, Chris? Is that why you're on here? You got a buzz on. I knew.
Twist.
When I was doing that video, when I was editing it, I swear I said just twist it. No exaggeration, at least 100 times when I recorded that. I recorded that. It was like 15 minutes, not the 7 or 8 I think I got it edited down to. And I was just going through literally every time I said twist, I'd like edit out like 2 minutes of video. And I just started, watching it, as I was editing it down and watching it to see, if I could edit it more or bring stuff back. And I got, God, I'm saying twist so many times. It's like a drinking game. And I went, got to put it in the video. It just became a drinking game.
Good stuff.
I don't even know how many actually made it to the final. What is it, like 10 or 12? I think I said it.
Yeah,
in
probably
the final.
there.
I never actually counted it, but I did put drink all over the screen every time I said it. Drink. There's one of them I said, just twist. Well, twist it, and then I was like, drink. I thought about not doing it. After I had it all done, I was like, oh, man, some little kid might see it. You know what? Get over it. He'll be in college someday. He'll understand. The parents don't get it. Tough. I try and keep it family friendly, but that's not.
Do your best.
That's not bad. It's a drinking game. If you're worried about your kids learning about drinking games, don't send them to college. Don't even let them in high school these days. God, I was in junior high when I started doing drinking games.
Now look at you.
Yeah. Don't do drinking games. You'll end up like this. Dumb move. Wouldn't believe the stupid games we played when I was in college, and drinking was only part of it. College was interesting for me. I was actually better off because I had my car accident when I was 18, and I literally had to learn how to walk and everything. I devastated my lower body and shattered my legs, and I was in therapy 3 times a week, and I didn't go to college till I was 21. So I'm in a freshman dorm, the only person of 296 who could buy booze.
Mr. Popular.
Oh boy, was I ever. And of course I had money because I wasn't driving in the first car accident, so I got a large insurance payout. So I went to college. It was on the insurance. So I had a refrigerator full of beer and stoves, and my dorm, me and my roommate were set. I had everything in that dorm room. Well, the problem is I have a refrigerator full of beer, and everybody's coming to my room, and I'm going through 6 cases a night of beer. I said, this is just ridiculous. So I started buying the cheapest crap I could buy.
Didn't matter.
Old Milwaukee. It's $2 for a case back then. We're talking 80s now. It was $2 for a case of Old Milwaukee. Red, white, and blue. Pabst Blue Label was the more expensive one. And they were still going through boatloads of it. I was spending, $50, $100 a night on beer. And finally, I said, screw that. So I started going to the Vermont liquor store because I went to college in Vermont. And I found the nastiest, crappiest liquor I could find, which was Yukon Jack. I said, you want a beer? You do a shot. That cut my beer drinking people down a lot. I was going through 2 or 3 cases of beer. But I was going through 2 or 3 bottles of Yukon every night. I think I still got a couple of those shot glasses. You used to buy it. It was $8, and you got the 2 shot glasses for $1 liter. Somewhere around here, I think I still got my Yukon Jack shot glasses.
Good times.
Yeah, we're talking 80s, man. It was a long time ago.
And what's your degree in?
I don't have one. I never finished. I
Never
bailed.
finished. Too much beer.
I was doing graphics. No, actually, I was doing well, and I was in class. And back then, I was doing computer aided design and graphics. And I hate cities. I don't like driving, which is kind of funny because I used to drive dragsters, but I don't like driving. I hate cities. And back then, when you did that kind of work, there was 3 places: Boston, New York, Los Angeles. That was it. I didn't want to live in either city. You couldn't do the work at home commute like all the computer geeks do now. Back then, you designed it on the screen, and then you hit print, and it printed out on the tiller tape thing. I'm not kidding you.
Oh,
And then you
man.
took it and you glued it together, and you laid it out on a piece of paper. We're talking 80s now. We didn't have.
Where did the computers come into that equation?
Oh, dude, the computer still had green or orange or
The
red.
monochrome.
Yes, they were all monochrome back then. These were, the Commodore 64 was the number one computer at college. We had a couple of IBMs, and there was a half a dozen of Apple IIs.
Wow.
And those were that was the computer class.
The Stone Age.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. Matter of fact, I was leaving college, and I think they got 3 or 4 Macs donated. And that was the first Macintosh computer.
Now, do you not like driving because of the accident, or did you just never
No,
like driving?
I love driving. I don't like other people driving around me.
Well, who
They
does?
just piss me off. No, but I just really don't. If I drive somewhere, when I went down to Earth, I get up at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I drive all night long when there's nobody else on the road. I'll drive up to Vermont in the middle of the night. It's awesome. There is literally nobody on the road in Vermont in the middle of the night. If there's anybody on the road in Vermont, it's because they're dealing drugs.
Just deer.
Yeah, and moose. Moose more than deer.
Moose.
I got some friends that live up there. It's funny watching the news. The first 15 minutes of any news is car versus moose. Moose was found in woods. People are dead.
Yeah, that's like hitting a wall.
Yeah. Well, the thing is people don't realize how big they actually are. You hit a moose.
They go through the
with
windshield, right?
A Toyota Corolla. They're up at the roof line. Their belly is your head height. You kind of slide underneath them and just decapitate yourself. And they get up and walk away.
Yeah.
They are huge. I mean, you look at them on TV and stuff. Have you ever seen a moose up live?
Not in person, no.
Yeah. They're bigger than they look on TV. They're freaking huge. Go up to Vermont, hang out for a week, see a moose.
See a moose.
It'll change your life. I was hiking. That's why I go up there. We used to be avid mountain hikers. I don't want to say mountain climbing because we weren't climbing mountain like they do now, but we'd hike through the mountains. I've done all the 4,000 foot in Vermont, New Hampshire. And one day they were all sitting at the campsite, and I was all ready. And I'm like, I'm going to go and I'll meet you up. We had it all planned out. I'll meet you up at the next stop. It's a mile up the trail. They were all smoking cigarettes, and I didn't smoke and didn't want to be around it. I was like, I'm going to go. So I had a Walkman, a real live cassette Walkman at the time, and I put the headphones in. I'm trucking up the trail going, I'm going to beat them up there, and I'm going to spook them. And I come up and over this crest, and here's this moose coming up to me, and I went, hi. And this thing looking down at me, not more than 4 or 5 feet away. And I'm just like, holy crap, that thing's huge.
Yeah,
if it wanted to hurt me, it would just be clump, and I'd be mush. And so I just stepped aside, and it looked at me and kind of wandered off into the woods, got off the trail. All of a sudden, the guys are coming up behind me. I'm like, dudes, there's a moose. And they're like, cool, where is it? And I'm like, it's over there in the woods. See it? It didn't take it off a ways, but you could still see it. Well, I got this moron friend who's like, I'm going to go see it. So he drops his pack and trucks off into the woods after. And we're like, dude, don't go after the moose. The thing will freaking think you're hunting it and trample you. Well, the next thing you see Neil. And this kid was, he was heavy, and he was only 5 foot tall.
Awesome.
and he was, he was round. He wasn't. I don't want to say he's fat, but he was overweight. And it was like a cartoon. He comes out of the woods like a cartoon, trucking, and the moose is like boom, boom, snorting and snot coming out of its nose, and it is chasing him. I'm like, dude, you are screwed. Finally, like, the one thing people don't realize, if a moose or something like that starts taking on, just put your back to a tree and just stay on the opposite side of the tree from him. They'll keep headbutting the tree for a while, but they can't get to you.
Yeah. Just make sure it's a big tree.
Make sure you stay on the other side of that tree, and they can't get to you. And they'll headbutt the tree a couple times and then, snort and take off. But it was scary. It was just like a cartoon. He's like, running, help! And this thing is like, it's like the freaking whole earth shaking with that thing running.
Crazy.
Moose are big. Really, really big. They make cows look like itty bitty mice. Moose are freaking huge. They taste good too. You want to see a mouse? We got mice here. I don't need to go to Canada to see a mouse.
A.
Yeah, Rocky and Bullwinkle are not proportional. Rocky would be way smaller. What am I missing in chat? Oh, it's a large board, so proprietary firmware. What does the large board use? Does that use SmoothieWare? That uses SmoothieWare, doesn't it? No, the large board should use Marlin 2.0 now, doesn't it? What's the processor on that? Isn't that one of the new processors they just brought in?
I'm not sure.
I think they just did like 2 or 3 new processors with the latest update on Marlin 2.0. I heard it was out of beta, but I guess it isn't because I went to download it. And I was going to play with it, just to play with it when it became public, and it's not. But someone was saying it was. I don't know. Anyways, now that we've totally sidetracked from 3D printing into being chased by moose in Vermont, how we got there, I don't know. I have this Coke that's getting warm. It's a real life Coca-Cola, which I never buy, but they were on sale. Advertisement. Coke, you better pay me.
Good luck. Yeah, drink it with the name out.
Is that the cherry Pepsi? I like that.
Yes.
I like the cherry Pepsi a lot. I mean, it's kind of like black Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is really a cherry Coke with more flavors added. But that's its base flavor, is cherry Coke. If you all didn't know, it's basically cherry Coke with stuff. It's cherry Coke plus. As the 3D filament community would say, it's cherry Coke plus. It's not HD cherry Coke. It's just cherry Coke plus.
Right.
Anyway, what time is it? It's 20:10. I should probably go check on the elderly. It's been a very long time since I've been down there. My mother was texting me there was issues with the toilet.
Oh boy.
Well, it's a macerator. I don't know if you know what a macerator is, but
I do, yeah.
It's a brand new macerator. If it's already having troubles, I'm going to be in trouble because that thing was a major... Actually, it wasn't that bad, but not an easy thing to deal with if you have to repair it.
Yeah, not the best job.
Ooh. Lots of flushing out with water and hoping it'll pump it out before you even open the box.
Right.
And this one's mounted under the toilet or behind the tank, so it's a pain in the ass. I'd have to take the whole freaking toilet out. Oh, I don't want to deal with it. I'm hoping it's just they got something stuck in there, and I can flush it a couple times, and I'll grind it up and burn it through. I have a feeling they've been flushing them wet wipes in it.
Oh no!
And they're gonna bind up the grinders. Well, those will. Some of them, the new Continentals and all of those, the new ones. Yeah, it is a garbage. It's exactly what it is. It's not even essentially. It's pretty much just a garbage disposal. It's almost exactly the same guts. Those things will dissolve now. Some of those brands, and I always buy the ones that say septic tank safe, which means even if it's binding up the blades now, if you let it sit overnight, it'll break down enough where if you fire it up again and let it run, it'll burn it up. Probably overheat. Oh, what are you talking? You're doing that 2 trees one, huh? Now, the thing about that is, Viking, is you replaced the drivers in there, didn't you? Or are you still using the standard? Did you go back to the standard drivers? If you didn't live in Vikingdom, you could just mail it to Chris and he'll fix it and then mail it back to you. But you live in that Viking world.
Viking world.
Viking world.
Scandinavia.
That may be it. I don't know about the large board, but it may not like the 2208s. What do you actually use for firmware? What is their firmware? I actually looked into that when I was doing the duet, when I got the duet board, and I was like, I was really cautious on the duet because even they were still fairly new, and everyone's got their own firmware. I'm like, why can't people just be like Marlin and leave it alone? Why do they have to do their own thing? Jumping from Valhalla is a crime. It's a godly experience, at least. Cost as much as God. So how many of you guys watched the community whatever stream that we did earlier?
Community showcase.
I can never remember names. Dude, I can't remember my own name half the time. Thank God it's written right there in front of me.
Thank God.
What's your name? Oh, Chris. Thank God.
I'm glad it's on the screen.
I think I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm terrible with names. Should have shaved. Oh well. Yeah, I know it's a proprietary firmware, but what is it? It's not large firmware, is it? I think it's still. For some reason, I could swear the large board was based on the Marlin firmware. They had their own little add-on, like Prusa does. I can't remember now. I was looking at it before. They were still really, really, really new when I was building the Core XY. I was like, no. Too new, something will be wrong with it, something will not get supported, I'd be stuck with it. I still got to send you that box, don't I? I just remembered that. I went to frickin' ship Mr. Buttram the Mike Wiley coin pieces. Got to the end of my driveway and...
Forgot?
No, Route 156 was a parking lot. I forgot it was the middle of the summer on a Friday afternoon. It's like, oh well, you can't go anywhere. This is a beach town I live in. So from Friday like noon to like Sunday at 10 o'clock at night, you basically can't get out of your driveway without running out of gas.
Gotcha.
Because it's basically a parking lot out there. When you get a car accident or something out on the highway, it's even worse.
They don't have to tell me. It's like that every Friday, year round.
Can't stand it. I hate people.
Too many of them.
Need to thin the herd out. I'll go first. Sign me up. Give me a boatload of money, let me live a year, and then blow me away. I'm good with it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. My body is so beat up, it's like... You gotta understand, dude, I've broken every single bone in my body at some point. So, yeah, I pretty much ache all the time now. I creak, I ache, I freaking whine, I cry. Wah.
It hurts.
You know what's funny now is it's not even it hurts. A lot of times it's, oh, that's a new one.
Oh, great.
Wow, I guess that's a new one. It's like you're going down the stairs, something goes, and you're like, oh, that's new. Where'd that bone come from? Yeah, that's not pretty.
It's only going to go downhill.
Yep. I know. That's what happens when you're a stupid little punk that does stupid things when you're growing up. If you're under 20, don't be a stupid punk. Be a daredevil idiot like I was.
Those are the breaks.
Literally.
Literally.
And everyone says, oh, you'll heal. Yep, you'll heal.
For a little bit.
And then it will unheal slowly over time. My sister-in-law's beat me on the metal contact, though, now. She just got a new shoulder, so she's ahead of me in the metal.
She's bionic.
Yeah. She's got a hip, a knee, and a shoulder now.
Wow.
And all the metal I have left in me now is in my leg. My femur is the only one still metal. They removed all the metal out of me. My femur got removed. The plates of my skull got removed. All the ones my fingers got removed.
You had plates in your skull?
Yeah. I broke my neck, dude. See the holes?
Yeah, my buddy had a halo on for a while.
Yep. Whole side of my face was torn off. This is all plastic surgery on this side.
No, that's your good side.
This is all fake. That's what all this is from.
Is that from the
They
accident?
actually went up through my lip and rebuilt my whole inside of my skull and around my eye. And
From that car accident?
yeah.
Boy, you're lucky.
I took a telephone pole on my hand. You know how when you're driving or riding, I was passenger. You put your hand on the window, driving down the road. I took the telephone pole on my arm.
Holy cow.
Cut my two fingers. These were cut right off. These two fingers were severed right off. They sewed them back on.
Wow.
They don't work. I have to think about it to make them work. They don't hurt or anything. They just don't work.
You're lucky to have them.
Yeah. All my teeth. 10 of my front teeth were knocked out. They put them all back in. I used to have straight teeth. They put them back in. The dentist dude said, we'll be lucky if 2 or 3 of them hold. He said they'll probably turn black even if they do. I'm like, whatever. He's like, we'll cap them or whatever. Every single one of them held.
Wow.
They got hit so hard and they popped out so clean. He just stuck them right back in there. Did it within like 2 hours after the accident.
That was the least of your problems.
Yeah. I was in a coma for 3 days. And then I came out of the coma and they gave me bad blood. They gave me that artificial blood crap that they were experimenting with in the 80s. Come to find out I was allergic to it and I broke out and just like everything. So they put me in a medical coma for 2 days after that.
You're lucky they didn't give you HIV.
No, that wasn't a thing then. HIV was just kind of, that started really springing up after that. I mean, it was around, it was heard of, but it wasn't
mainstream.
Yeah, it wasn't a big scare back then. Which probably, luckily, I didn't get HIV because I don't think they were testing for it back then either. But no, this was fake crap blood. I don't know what it was. It was some kind of
synthetic.
Yeah. Something new they were trying. How to grow. Basically, they add it to the blood. Like, they take a pint of blood and they add it to it. And it makes like a quart of blood kind of deal out of a pint. Increases the white blood count or some crap. I don't remember. I was not happy about it. That's all I remember.
Some black magic.
Yeah, I'm way past $1 million, dude. So far beyond $1 million. And I didn't do it once. I did it 3 times. 3, 8, 18, 28.
Slow learner.
Yeah.
Or you just like the drugs.
Oh. Did like the drugs. It's kind of funny. You know, it's funny because I had everything. I mean, when I broke my neck, I had liquid morphine. I had morphine in an eyedropper bottle when I got home. And I just, whatever I want. Doctors didn't care at that point. They were like, you know what? If he gets addicted, we'll deal with that after.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, they're just like, do whatever the hell you want, dude. I used to take Vicodins and Percocets like freaking chiclets. If I take a Vicodin now, dude, it freaks me out. I like get so sick. It's unreal. If I touch a Vicodin, if I take a Vicodin, I'm like all jittery, nervous, and I get pissed off. Wow. I won't take them. Won't touch them.
Turn into the Hulk.
Kinda. Except for the obnoxious white little punk Hulk. Just they irritate me. I mean, they just make me all just. I mean, I literally used to take 3 or 4 at a time, like nothing. Yum.
What about the rest of the people in the accident? How did they fare out?
The first one, no one else was really in. When I was 8, I got dragged through the parking lot at the races. My father had a.
That's not how they're supposed to work.
Seriously, my father. We have a large family. There's 7 of us. My parents and then my 4 brothers.
So you were expendable?
Yeah, well, I'm the youngest too. So we left the races. There's a little, NASCAR race track 1 town over that we used to go to all the time, Waterford Speed Bowl. We go watch the races. Dad would take us, a couple of Sundays every year. Anyways, we're all getting back in. We had a big VW bus that he just bought. Beautiful VW bus. I wish we still had it. It was one of the last split window VW buses. But anyways, everyone thought we were all in. It's like 9, 10 o'clock at night back then, and I'm 8 years old. So I'm getting in the van. I got my hand on the door jamb, and my brother shuts the door on my hand.
Oh, no.
And my father starts driving away, dragging me through the parking lot. We got all the way out. It's a rather large parking lot. Got all the way out to the street where the, flag kid is standing there, directing traffic and stopping traffic. And he goes, "Hey, there's a kid dangling outside your van."
Oh,
and I'm just sitting there, you're screaming so loud, you're not making a noise. I'm just like,
yeah.
So I was all the whole side of me was all torn up and my hand was all broken. My arm was broken. Then at 18, I just, my friend was driving and I took the telephone pole in my right hand, on my right arm, and it just basically devastated the whole right side of my body. My face was ripped off and all my ribs were broken, legs all been repaired, foot's all been repaired, hips been repaired, shoulders been repaired. Face was completely torn off. Eyeball popped out.
What?
Literally, yep. My right eye was dangling.
Still works okay?
Yep. Works all right. I actually fixed it. I was ready for glasses, and they said the glass. I'm not kidding you. It got because there was, I don't know, stigmatism or whatever they call them, where your eye starts going, and now they do the laser surgery. Well, basically, a piece of the glass severed my eyeball and did the surgery. I have a little tiny, like, amoeba that I can always see. It's always looking around in my vision, but it's not even, I don't even notice it unless I think about it and focus on it.
Yeah.
And there's a little black spot in the middle of my vision. That's it. Other than that, I have good vision.
Lazy eye.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's the other thing. All my teeth got knocked out. My nose got freaking bent over.
Falls down a well, eyes go cross. Gets kicked by a mule.
You can't even tell. I mean, you really have to look. Like my whole eyelid and everything, all around my right eye was all sewn back on. You can't tell. If you look at me really close, I can pull it down. You can see all the scars around the eyelashes and stuff.
Yeah.
Where they sewed it back on. But they did a great job. Not only that, I'm young. I was only 18. And then at 28, I was driving and did my own car accident. Did the left side. So now I'm balanced.
Right. Matching.
I'm completely devastated on both sides. Everything's broken equally.
Was there a little alcohol involved in that one?
Nope.
Snow, ice?
Nope. Wet leaves. Halloween night. Went for what saved me. That's when I broke my neck. What saved me is we had just done a 3-week stint up in Vermont hiking. And the doctors say if you weren't wearing, the backpack for 3 weeks, when you broke your neck, your head would have just fallen off. Actually, I don't know if you know what it is, but I broke the odontoid off. Your very top vertebrae has a pin that sticks up. It's the only one that does, and your head sits on it. That's what holds your head in place. And I sheared that right off. And they said the only thing holding your head onto your body so your head just doesn't go flop back was all my neck muscles were so tight from carrying the backpack.
Wow.
They didn't know what to do with me. They said 99% of people that break their odontoid just die because it severs their spinal cord. It's like, how are you still alive? And they're like, well, what? Normally the halo separates your head from your body and lets the vertebrae heal. And they're like, we can't do that because there's nothing holding it there anymore. So they actually took it. They put it on. They didn't put the shoulder pads on. They lifted it up off of my shoulders. Then they put 30 pounds of weight on the top of it and squished my head down onto my neck.
Oh. So you're shorter now than you were?
Probably, but maybe an inch. But I can't turn my head. That's as far as it goes. Doesn't hurt, just doesn't go any farther. You know how you can like turn your head and look over your shoulder?
There's nothing to see over there.
Yeah, I just go like this.
Yeah.
It's funny when for a person's never driven with me in a car, like I'll come to a stop sign or something where you gotta look behind you. I'll take my seatbelt. I have to take my seatbelt off so I can turn. Look, seatbelt back on. It's like automatic habit to me.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Getting out.
Getting out, man.
Done
I'm
driving.
leaving. I'm out of here. You drive now. Yeah, I got beat up. I was a stupid kid. We did some really, really stupid stuff as a kid. Want to hear something really stupid? Where my father was just at the rest home, rehab center, they call it. Freaking old folks rest home. It used to be a sand dune where we used to go and get sand or drive around on dune buggies. Well, it was like a 20-foot drop from where the diggers were digging out. I mean, they just started digging, and, wherever they went and stopped that day, there was a big trench, like 20, 30 feet. We used to take Jeeps and everything and go up on the top and just drive off as fast as you can. And it's just airborne. Woohoo!
Man, you got a death wish.
Well, one of my friends says, hey, he shows up at my house. This is right after I just gotten the halo off, too. And he shows up at my house with his sister's brand new Toyota Corolla. He's like, let's go to the dune. See what the Toyota can do on the dune. I'm like, okay. So we go off of this thing at about 35, 40 miles an hour. And it starts nosediving. And nosediving. I'm like, oh, frick. Luckily, there was enough of a pitch, so we hit and it came down. The whole floor pan let go. Just ripped right out. Both of us are sitting there dragging sand flowing up past our feet. And we're in this car, and he's like this now because, it drops like 6 inches. He's trying to steer. Brand new car. Thing wasn't freaking 2 hours old.
Wow.
Needless to say, the insurance did not pay for that one.
It should have been under warranty. The floor fell out.
Yeah. Not when you drive it off a freaking 20-foot cliff.
Yeah, leave that part out.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to leave that part out when the tow truck pulls up and there's about 500 pounds of
Where did all this sand come from? Litter box.
Oh, God, I think he paid for that car for like 10 years of his life. He had to give his sister like a quarter of his paycheck forever. Brand new. She'd just gotten it.
Well,
I can't believe she was dumb enough to let him take it.
Exactly.
I mean, he was a no nutcase before that.
Exactly.
I mean, me and him used to go around town and we'd find the old VW bugs that people are selling for $50 and don't run. I mean, I don't know if you ever worked on an old air-cooled VW bug. Those things are like, it could be seized and for like $50 you can rebuild it and get it running. It may not be great, but you know, we literally crawl underneath them and unbolt the 4 bolts and drop it on your chest and then wheel the motor out on your chest and then pick it up and rebuild them, slap a new one in. We used to do that and then cut the bodies off of them and drive them around town just like dune buggies.
Sweet.
We were crazy people. Back in the day when you could drive around this town at, you know, in the winter time after summer was over. Back then, this town was a true beach town. It went from like 80,000 occupants in the summer to like 800 in the winter. I mean, our high school had 300 students in it, I think.
Wow.
Excuse me. I had the largest class ever graduating from OIM at 120 students. A lot. So, yeah, you go out, you know, September, October, and get in a car at 8 o'clock at night, and you could drive all around town and never see another car all night long.
Nobody would bother you.
Yeah. And even when the cop bothered you, they'd be like, what are you guys doing? Go home. You know what I mean? It's like, go home. Just go home.
On a first name basis.
Yeah. Well, he lived at the end of my driveway. He was chasing me one night. I was going down this windy road in my station wagon. I'm going to get away from the cop. Duh. I can get away from the cop in my station wagon. So I got away from him. I'm like, cool. Well, you know, quite obvious, you know, a 1969 station wagon, bright red.
Yeah.
You knew where it was. I get home. We've been out drinking all night. I get home at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. There's my father and him sitting at the kitchen table.
Awesome.
He looks at my old man and goes, should I take care of this or are you? And my father goes, I'll take care of it. Yeah, I was in trouble for a while after that one. Yep. No children for me either. I'm not dumb enough to subject myself to me. That ain't happening.
Well, thank you. The world thanks you.
Yeah, they do. I was not a pleasant child. Actually, I was a very pleasant child. Just don't want to be my parents. Because, oh my God, I was not good. I would do anything and everything. Well, here, go jump off this cliff. Okay. Let's go up onto the Baldwin Bridge and jump in the river. Okay. Done that a few times. Hey, let's go up the Connecticut River. No lie. We went up the Connecticut River back when it used to actually freeze before, you know, global warming came around. But that doesn't exist.
It's climate change.
Yeah, climate change. So that's because they don't realize that not everyone actually gets hot because of global warming, but whatever. We'd go way up the Connecticut River, like 20, 30 miles up the Connecticut River, which is a saltwater, semi-saltwater, brackish water river, depending on the tide. And we'd go up there with torches and pickaxes, and we'd take a big iceberg out, bring a keg onto it, start a bonfire, and get like 20, 30 people and have a keg party floating down the freaking river.
No kidding.
Yeah. You know, we'd leave a couple cars and vans and trucks down in one, take a couple cars, vans, trucks, bring everyone up, and float down the river. Yeah. In the middle of the winter. Burr. Not too bright.
Yeah, but that sounds like fun.
Yeah, well, it was blast. But, you know, cops, helicopters, emergency rescue boats. Of course, people see it, and they're like, what the hell's going on? Next thing you know, the fire boat's out there. Please get off the iceberg. It's like, we can't. We're stuck on it until it stops.
You have to dock it.
You know, like grabbing like oars or something. Gee, that would have been intelligent for us to do. Nah, we had our keg of beer and freaking a boatload of wood to have a fire on an iceberg.
You know, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, that wasn't too smart. Let's have a fire on an iceberg.
Let's have a fire on what we're sitting on.
Yeah. Let's melt the thing holding us above the water. Not too bright.
Like cutting down a tree that you're standing on.
Yeah. Oh, you ever seen that video?
There's a bunch of them, sadly.
Oh, there's one. The guy straps himself to it, like with the telephone pole harness, and he's cutting it. And you don't really see the way he's doing it, but he's strapped to the branch he's doing, and he cuts it, and it like slingshots him.
Oh.
Because it starts dropping, and of course, you know, when you do that, I don't know if you ever seen it, but they got like a pulley, and
Yeah.
you got a couple of safety things. So it starts dropping, and it slings him out. Oh, it was just the funniest thing. It's like whips him around.
I saw
like,
one.
That had to have hurt.
It was like a third world country type deal, and the guy's cutting down this giant tree, and the tree goes down, but as it's going down, it like takes some power lines with it, and whatever's behind him comes down. It's like the steeple of a church comes down.
Oh, because it pulled the power lines and pulled the building with
From
it.
behind him, yeah, so nobody knows it's coming, and you just hear it hit the guy right on the noggin, and you just hear this thud like a melon getting smashed. It had to kill him.
It had to.
It was just so crazy.
Oh, that's just so stupid.
He cuts a tree down, and like 2 buildings went down with it.
That ain't right. They're supposed to be made to pull away. Like, I attach power lines. I do construction. You attach power lines. You got breakaways on the house. Shouldn't be permanently attached to the house.
Well, when you live where a place where there's no building codes.
Yeah, that's true. They probably go, oh, I don't want my power to come off the house, so I'm going to tie it on extra strong.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the accent, but you're close.
Yeah. You got my point. Yeah. I love watching those guys. There's a bunch of them down in like Brazil doing the skid steers. Instead of having a trailer, they figured out how to like, I don't know if you ever driven a skid steer. You know what a skid steer is, right?
Yeah.
It's like a Bobcat.
Right.
They wheelie them up to get them in the dump truck. Like they'll bring it with the dump truck instead of having a trailer like we do here in the States. They just
like stand the thing up and walk it up there.
They stand it up, put the bucket on it, pull it up into it, and then just drive into the thing.
Crazy.
I'm like, holy crap! How do you do that? And not like, you know, because you're like, you're not looking at what you're driving. You're staring straight up at the sky.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you practice that?
I think you just do it. I don't know. Skid steers are not something I ever got good at driving. I hate them things. They are obnoxious.
It's all in the wrist.
It's kind of fun if you're just playing, but if you're actually trying to work,
You know, you're trying not to break something.
yeah. I remember my boss getting drunk. Oh God, what was this? 2 years ago? He lives right next door. We were trying to cut down a tree, and of course, the morons put the chain on backwards on the chainsaw. So they're burning the freaking thing.
So it took a little while.
These guys were the dumbest stumps I've ever had the pleasure of working with.
You just have to turn it upside down.
Yeah, wicked nice guys, both of them. Really, really, really nice guys. Dumb as a stump. I mean, they take the chainsaw and they just drive it right into the ground. No, you know, they'll cut it like cutting it up. You know, they're doing good, and they'll just go right down in the ground instead of like picking it up or rolling the log or just, you know, sparks flying. But yeah, they were doing that and they couldn't get through it and they're burning it. And finally, my boss is half drunk. He gets pissed off and takes the skid steer, puts the bucket up really high, and just full speed into the tree, knocks it down. Just drives the thing right into the tree and knocks it down. Roots and all, tore it right up. I was like, well, that's the easy way to do it. Why didn't we do that from the first place? That was quick. Yeah, that was funny. I mean, it was an old dead tree. It wasn't like a live tree or anything. But it was still funny. I wish I'd gotten that on video. If I'd known he was going to do that, he got into the thing, I would have videotaped it because that would have been freaking hilarious. Oh yeah, rolling up on top of a log pile. Yeah, it's like doing a log roll thing on the river. That's always funny. Or I love it when somebody's doing a backhoe, and if you know how to use a backhoe or a excavator, same basic bucket thing. When you go to rotate, if you have any intelligence, you bring your bucket in up tight to the machine and then rotate. Well, you get the newbies that just leaves the bucket out there, rotates, and like takes out cars, fences, houses.
Oops.
I love that one. Can't tell you how many times I've seen someone with mostly with excavators take out a car, learning how to use an excavator. Someone's truck. They whip that thing around with the bucket way out there, and it's like, oh, I can do this quick. Dig, dig, bam, smash. There's a pickup truck upside down.
And that's right when they're feeling really confident. I got this, no problem.
Yeah,
Bam!
Well, they're a little skittish at first because they're getting used to it, but after like 5 minutes, they're like, "Oh, this is easy," and it is. I mean, it's like playing a freaking video game when you get right down to it. I mean, once you get used to a couple joysticks and what they do in the foot pedals, it's freaking easy.
Right.
It's not like hard work. It's just throwing some sticks around. Man, they start whipping that thing around. They take out cars. Nothing better than watching a good old Toyota pickup truck get a bucket stoved upside of it. Funniest thing you'll ever see, unless you own that pickup truck.
Unless it's yours.
I actually had one guy who was happy. It was a brand new, not brand new, but it was only like 6 months old. I think it was a Datsun, back when we still had Datsuns.
Yeah.
You're old enough to remember Datsun.
I do.
It was like a lemon. He was having constant problems with it. Somebody stove the bucket right into the hood of the thing. Just ripped the whole hood up the windshield and took half the cab off.
Like
He's
Christmas.
like, woo, I get a new truck.
Yep. Thank you.
He was happy. He's like, I hated that thing. He went out and got a, Chevy or a Ford or something, I think. It was kind of funny. Anyways, we should probably kill this thing considering it's 10:15. And we've been yakking about absolutely everything but 3D printing.
That's all right. We got a little 3D printing in the chat.
Well, I just noticed you have a Joel in a blanket behind you. Why is he in a blanket? Was Joel cold?
This?
Yeah, it looks like Joel in a blanket.
That's C-3P Joel.
Yeah.
It's a net. Remember when Chewie's carrying him in Star Wars, C-3PO, after they take him apart?
Oh.
So he's got the hand and the feet sticking out?
Oh, I didn't notice it. I just thought he was like in a blanket sitting there.
No, I was walking around Murph like that. Like Chewie with the C-3PO.
Now that I understand it, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it was a hit.
Yeah, the forest machines are pretty nuts too. The ones that strip a tree. You seen them new freaking thing? Come up and claw a tree, shave it off with a circular saw, and then they just lift it up and they kind of like let it drop, and it's got stripping things. It just strips all the branches off. Yeah. Drop the log on the ground. Takes like 2 seconds to strip a tree down. Holy crap. Takes all the bark off and everything.
Yeah.
Gives you a nice clean log laying on the ground. Anyway, yeah, let's kill it. I'm out of here. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. Whoever's even left. Is there anyone still listening to us babble about absolutely stupid crap?
Michael's still here.
Yeah. Michael's probably getting a kick out of it. He's like, yeah, there's other dumb people like me in the world. Kidding. I have no idea who he is. Anyway, gonna kill it. We're out of here.
All right, Tom. We'll see you later.
Thanks for stopping in, everyone.
Night.
End broadcast.